Good morning everyone. Again, I am Socio-Emotional from BSL Social Studies. Today, I am going to discuss the late childhood and adolescence and their physical, cognitive, and social-emotional development. Let's start first with late childhood or the intermediate scholar. Physical development of the intermediate scholars. In early puberty on the adult age, girls are generally as much as 2 years ahead of boys in terms of physical maturity, and puberty changes start when the brain triggers the production of 6 hormones. Changes during early puberty in girls, small lumps from behind the nipple may occur, which sometimes could be painful, but eventually the pain goes away. The vulva starts increase a bit, the vagina gets longer, the uterus gets bigger, and hairs will start to grow in the armpit and public area. Boys may also have swelling on their chest but tend to go away within a year. Subtle increase in testicle size, penis and scrotum starts to grow, and so on. Implication to child care education and parenting. During this stage, children are physically active. However, they still have a lot of physical maturity to undergo. Here are some points to consider for health care provided teachers and parents. Provide ample opportunities at home and in school for physical exercises and sports. Encourage children to participate in varied virtual activities until they are able to discover the ones they are interested in. Develop a strong emotional attachment with your children so as to address insecurities and social concerns. And since children in this stage have more control over their eating habits, provide them healthier food choices. Cognitive development of their intermediate scholars. Their ability to use logic and reasoning gives them chances to think about what they want and how they get it. They now become very interested in talking about their future or even their potential careers. They develop social interest in collection, hobbies, and sports. They're even capable of understanding concepts without having direct hands-on experiences. So, children in this stage is marked by wide application of word attack. They are no longer into fairy tales and magic types of stories, but are more interested in longer and more complex reading material. Implications to child care education and parenting. Children have varying intelligence profiles. Those profiles may be best on influence in learning and achievement. Parents, child care providers, and teachers should be able to recognize this through being an eager participant in children's growth and development, understand how to use children's natural curiosity to help make the appropriate developmental leap in their skills and abilities, and creating an atmosphere where risks can be taken, discoveries made while children remain safe. Socio-emotional development of the intermediate scholars. So, one of the most widely recognized characteristics of this period of development is the acquisition of feeling of self-competence. During late childhood, children can now describe themselves with internal and psychological characteristics and traits. They most likely employ more social comparison, distinguishing themselves from others. Emotional development, the same with other areas of development. Children in this stage show improved emotional understanding, increased understanding that more one emotion can be experienced in a single experience. And another milestone in this stage is the development of the children's emotional intelligence or the EQ. Emotional intelligence has 4 main areas: the developing emotional self-awareness, managing emotion, reading emotion, and handling emotion. In building friendship, the approval and belongingness they receive contributes to the stability and security of their emotional development. Precise also and the supervision by adults is required. At this stage, children prefer to belong to same-sex peer groups, and there are 5 types of peer status: the popular, average, neglected, rejected, and controversial. Family support at this stage is crucial. If the children do not find a supportive family, we define their interests, they can easily get frustrated. If families are primary support system, failures and setbacks become temporary and surmountable than something that is attributed to personal flaws or deficits. Implications to child care, education, and parenting. Intermediate school children's socio-emotional competency should be viewed in the context of the child's developmental age. However, healthcare providers, teachers, and parents should be able to gain understanding of their child's socio-emotional strengths and weaknesses by encouraging children to talk about their feelings without doing it personally, and design activities that allow children to work on their own and discover activities and habits that they enjoy. And now, let's move on to adolescence or the high school learner. Physical development of the high schooler. The period of adolescence begins with biological changes of puberty and ends with the role and work of adult life. So there are three stages of adolescence, the early, middle, and the late adolescence. Adolescence is a period of transition in terms of physical, cognitive, and socio-emotional changes, physical transition being particularly coupled with sexual transformation. Puberty changes. In all cultures, biological changes comprises the major transition from childhood to early adolescence. This is manifested by a change in physical appearance, a more rapid rate of development, known as growth spurt. The phenomenon commonly results in the feeling of awkwardness, result in the feeling of unfamiliarity with bodily changes. Hormones are recognized to be powerful and highly specialized chemical substances that interact with body cells. The triggering by the hormones of the hypothalamus glands and hormones and the pituitary glands signal the entire process of sexual maturation. During the process, gonadotropic hormones are secreted by the anterior pituitary, which lies beneath the base of the brain and are situated approximately at the geometric center of the human head. Secondary male sex characteristics are stimulated by testosterone, comprised by the growth of the testes and scrotum, penis, and first pubic hair. The acceleration of the growth precedes the first appearance of facial hair growth. Accordingly, in puberty, the lowering of the voice, caused by the enlargement of the larynx and double lengthening of the vocal cords, is viewed to be the most obvious aspects of adolescent development. Adolescents became aware of changes in sexuality, thus undergoing a period of exploration and adjustment. Learners from sectarian schools are more likely to consider sexual open to be dangerous, if not sinful. The case is not perceived among non-sectarian or gender-mixed schools, although more dangers exist relating to heterosexual relationships and early pregnancy among students in non-exclusive schools. The ideal body. It's important that adolescents feel confident about their body image. The physical features of the human body depend on genetic heritage, which must generally be respected. However, with advancement in hair and skin technology, change in hair color and skin care are no longer impossible. There is more to body image than physical looks, and this concerns good habits in relation to cleanliness and grooming, proper wearing of clothes following current styles, erect bodily posture, eye contact while communicating, and decorum and decency. And then the cognitive development of the high school learners of the adolescents. According to Piaget, the adolescent years are remarkable because youth move beyond the limitations of concrete mental operations and develop the ability to think in a more abstract manner. Piaget used the term formal operations to describe this new ability. So when we say formal operation stage, that is formulated by Piaget, which demonstrates how the cognitive capacity of the adolescent allows him or her to go beyond the sensible and concrete to dwell on what is abstract. Formal operations refer to the ability to perform mental operations with abstract, intangible concepts such as justice or poverty, and to be able to estimate or describe the effect of these intangible concepts. Formal operation thinking consists in proportional thinking and relativistic thinking. So when we say proportional thinking, it is the making assertions outside visual evidence and stating what may be possible in things not seen by the eyes, while when we say relativistic thinking, it is subjectively making an opinion of facts involving one's own bias, prejudice of facts which may be either right or wrong. Formal operation thinking also consists in real versus possible, examining situations and exploring the possible in terms of situations or solutions. Characteristics of the formal operational stage. Piaget believed that deductive logic becomes important during the formal operational stage. Deductive logic requires the ability to use a general principle to determine a specific outcome. The type of thinking involves a hypothetical situation and is often required in science and mathematics. Ways that adults can help adolescents to make better decisions. To help them expand their range of options so they can consider multiple choices. To help adolescents to carefully weigh their options and consider consequences. And adults can help adolescents to understand how emotions, both positive and negative, can affect their thinking and behavior.